Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. We're so excited that you're joining us for today's presentation from the Parent and Family Services webinar series. Today, we're really excited to have a representative from our UAB graduate school to talk about all of the opportunities that we have available to our students as early as starting out with their freshman year. My name is Meredith Call, and I serve as the Director for the Office of Parent and Family Services. And so I'm just very glad that you're able to join us for today's presentation so that you can really learn about those opportunities that students can start to take advantage of in preparing for and getting ready towards going on to graduate school and those next steps. I do want to make sure that all of our family members know that we want this to be a very interactive and engaging presentation. And so we are going to be taking questions for our family members that are joining us through the Zoom platform. If all you have to do to submit your questions is to just put your questions into that Q&A box that you see at the bottom of your screen. If you're joining us through the Facebook Live platform, all you have to do there is just put your questions into the comments section of Facebook. And we are monitoring all of those sessions so that after the presentation is actually over, we will take those questions so that we can prepare you and your student with as much information as possible to ensure that everybody is being able to take advantage of this at the highest level possible, and that you are able to really engage and help your student engage in this experience as they are thinking about not just what it means to be a student at UAB, but what does it mean to take that experience fully on into their academic and then ultimately their career goals. So I'd like to invite Melissa Halsey-Taylor on to share with you some resources and opportunities that are available to all of our UAB students. So Melissa?
Hello. Oh, it's not letting me start my video.
My apologies. I will fix that right now.
That's okay. Hi. Okay. Hi. My name is Melissa Halsey-Taylor, and I am the Accelerated Learning Opportunity Advisor in the graduate school. And I'm just going to jump right on into our presentation. Little forewarning, I am going to mute my video. I have, in limited business operations, I do have 2 children here at the house, and they are known for jumping right on in pretty much any call that I make. So I'm gonna mute my video so that you don't have to see my kids. But I'm gonna get my PowerPoint pulled up right now. So give me just one quick moment to get that going. All right. Getting there. Okay, like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and stop my video, but we're gonna jump right into my presentation. So again, my name is Melissa Taylor, and I work over in the UAB Graduate School and going to chat about accelerated learning opportunities and why it's important to start thinking about it. All right, so during our presentation, we're gonna talk about accelerated learning, how it works, and why you should think about it now. So you may be thinking, what is accelerated learning? What does that mean? What are these options that are available to me? And never fear, I'm going to take some time to talk through these options. The 3 that we're going to specifically talk about today are fast track programs, accelerated bachelor's master's programs, and we're going to talk about early acceptance programs within the graduate school. So we're going to jump right on in, and before we get to the specifics of fast track and accelerated bachelor's master's, I want to start with this image. I'm not sure if you are like me. I'm a very much so a visual person, and this visual representation to me really makes it clear how you can go about planning and thinking about the next 4 years in your undergraduate career and moving forward into a graduate degree. So first, there are 3 paths into the graduate school. First is that traditional path where a student is they're solely undergraduate students and they are earning their bachelor's degree. And then once they earn that bachelor's degree, they move into a graduate degree program. So in this visual, we have a blue line that indicates, 4 years. And then after that blue line to the right, you have your graduate degree program. So 4 years traditional, and then you move into a graduate degree. That's your traditional route to grad school. Next, we're going to move into our accelerated options that UAB offers. We have 2 options for accelerated learning. We have fast track programs and we have accelerated bachelor's masters. The big difference between fast track and accelerated bachelor's masters is how that credit is applied. Within fast track specifically, you are not able to share credit between your bachelor's degree and your master's degree. So while a student can be enrolled in both their undergraduate program and a graduate program, there isn't credit sharing. There's still a lot of benefits there because you are able to get started with that graduate degree program, but you cannot share credit. With the accelerated bachelor's master's, this is still very new to UAB and the graduate school. So it's really exciting, a lot of opportunities for our students because students can share up to 12 credit hours of coursework between their graduate degree program and their undergraduate degree. So a max of 12 credit hours can be shared between those two. And just like this image depicts, it does speed up the time that it takes for a student to complete both their master's degree. So we're going to chat a little bit more about the specifics about the fast track programs and what that means. And again, you may be thinking, my student hasn't even stepped on campus yet. Like, what do you mean? What does all of this mean? And that's okay. That's a role that I play within the graduate school, is helping students wrap their heads around these options. So as I kind of get into the specifics of it, don't stress. It's okay. I am here. I will continue to be available to our students once they get on campus and to help answer the specific questions. So with Fast Track, and both Fast Track and ABM, you'll see similarities with the admissions process, and that being that a student can't begin an accelerated program until they've reached the minimum credit hour requirements. So the first is that they need to have earned 60 credit hours of coursework, with 36 of those 60 earned at UAB. Now, keep in mind, programs can increase their requirements, but UAB Graduate School, our minimum is 60 credit hours of coursework, 36 credit hours earned at UAB. So that's approximately junior standing. So just kind of get your mind wrapped around. So about your third year. Also, GPA requirements. A student to be eligible for a fast track program, the minimum is a 3.0 GPA. Again, a program can increase that GPA requirement if they want, but the minimum is a 3.0. And again, no shared credit. This next slide I'm about to pull up has a list of all of our participating programs. As you can see, there's a wide variety. It's really exciting. So I'll just leave that for just a moment so you can quickly scan through. We also have this information on our website. You can go to uab.edu/graduate and can navigate to the Accelerated Learning Opportunity webpage. Next is the Accelerated Bachelor's Master's Program, again, ABM. So again, the similarities being that a student has to have earned 60 credit hours of coursework, with 36 of those 60 earned at UAB. And the other big difference between ABM and Fast Track is that a student needs to have earned at least a 3.5 UAB GPA or undergraduate GPA. That is really important. So keep that in mind as you're talking to your student about these accelerated options. They need to really have a strong, firm foundation and have started to get their GPA to where it needs to be eligible for these programs. In order to remain in the program, they need to have a 3.0 GPA as well. And again, 12 credit hours of shared coursework between the undergraduate and graduate degrees. That is the big draw. The next slide is going to show you our programs that we currently have. The Accelerated Bachelor's Master's program has really just taken off. In the very beginning, there were only 5 programs, and now, as you can see, we have a growing list of programs that are available. So definitely something I encourage my students to consider as they're thinking through their long-term goals and short-term goals. Many students who are pursuing accelerated bachelor's masters, they are able to earn both their undergraduate degree and graduate degree in 4 years, which is absolutely fantastic. But keep that in mind that this is a student who has come in with a lot of credit, maybe a lot of AP or dual enrollment credit, and they are even in a major that matches nicely with the specific accelerated bachelor's master's program that they're going into. So it's not necessarily the case for every single student that they can graduate with both their undergraduate and graduate degree in 4 years. But if they are thinking that they might be interested and they don't know who to go to and talk with, I am a really good first person and first point of contact for students. So some of the quick benefits, the middle one is probably the biggest one, I'll be honest, for students and parents, but variety of programs are available. But students are able to pay undergraduate tuition on graduate courses while they are still enrolled as an undergraduate student. So that is really, really, really a huge benefit if a student is wanting to earn a master's degree. When it comes to the cost, they are able to pay undergraduate tuition on these graduate courses. If they have scholarship, those scholarship dollars can also help pay for the graduate courses while they are enrolled as an undergraduate student. And the other huge benefit is a much shorter time to graduate with their degrees, specifically their master's degrees. So it's really exciting. It's a lot of opportunities for students who may have that interest in pursuing graduate school. The next program I want to talk to you about is early acceptance programs. And this is, again, really exciting. There's a lot of things happening in the graduate school that is really exciting, and early acceptance is one of those things. I work very closely with our early acceptance programs, both on the graduate program director side as well as with the students. To give you a little bit of information about what early acceptance is, it is for high ability high school students who have earned a 30 ACT and a 3.5 high school GPA. Your student would have received an invitation to join the early acceptance program. And I always say yes. There's no downside to saying yes to this, but students need to maintain a 3.5 UAB GPA, meet program-specific prerequisite courses, and they have conditional admission into graduate school. So what that basically means is when they say yes and they maintain that 3.5 and they complete the program-specific prerequisites, they have automatic admission into one of our participating programs. I have worked with students for over 6 years. And I know the stress that they feel and, sometimes that uncertainty. COVID is a perfect example. There's so much uncertainty, which can increase anxiety levels. So I've worked very closely with students who experience that anxiety, and knowing that they have admission into a graduate program of their interest through the early acceptance programs can really decrease anxiety that they may feel. We currently have 27 programs participating. It is a great list. I'm really excited about this list, and the hope is to continue to see it grow. Again, you can find information about our early acceptance programs, fast track and accelerated bachelor's masters on our website, uab.edu/graduate. And then you can go to the accelerated learning opportunity webpage for additional details about these programs. So maybe you're thinking and you're asking yourself, what should I do now? What do I need to do to best support my student? Here's what I've told students, and here's what I tell you. Encourage your student to just settle in and adjust. Not only is adjusting and transitioning to college challenging, but we are living in a global pandemic. So, it's a whole new set of different and challenging. And so just be there for your student and encourage them as best you can to just get their feet under them and to just settle. Really encourage them to develop those strong study skills. They may look at you and say, I know how to study. I did so well in high school. Again, I've worked with students for over 6 years, and what they may have done in high school worked for them for high school, but it may not work for them in college. And so now's the time to really encourage them to think about how to study. We have a ton of campus resources available to them to help them with how to best manage their time and study, which leads me straight into the next one, which is time management, because they're going to want to get involved and jump on and meet people and socialize and be a part of everything that campus has to offer. But if you can't complete your studies and be prepared for your coursework and your classes, then it's going to make everything else a lot more difficult. So really encourage them to think about time management. If they don't have a calendar, encourage them to find a calendar, or if a calendar, like a paper calendar or an online Google calendar, help them identify, talk with them about what time management looks like for them. and have those open conversations. Again, getting involved, so important. There's so much to do on campus and so much to be a part of. So encourage them to take advantage of all the opportunities that are available to them. The next one, if I could put an underline and bold and italicize and everything for this next one, then I would do it and make it super obnoxious. But please encourage your students to meet with their advisors. Their advisors are in their corner. They are their allies on campus, and they are going to advocate for them. So please encourage your students to meet with their academic advisors. I also advise and have advised for several years. So please, if they don't know where to go or who to talk to, or if they don't feel comfortable talking to someone, please send them my way. I would be more than happy to just connect with them and answer any questions that they might have. And last, but certainly not least, encourage them to reflect on their interests and what areas are going to help them reach their long-term goals. If they're not sure what their interests might be, tell them to go and do some research and just find things that are that pique their interest and get them excited, because that's going to help them navigate, what they want to go into. So that's it. Those are my quick tips of things to encourage your student to do. And the last one is, you don't know what you don't know. That goes for both students and family members. You don't know what you don't know. And I promise you, when I say it's okay, it truly is okay. UAB has a wealth of knowledge and folks available to stand in your corner, not only the parents and family members, but also the students. We want to be there. We want to encourage you as family members and also the students. So know that it's okay if you don't know. That's what we're here for. We know lots of things and we want to support you. And with that, I'm going to turn my screen back on and see what questions any of you might have. Luckily, I had no kids jumped in, so that was good. So I could have left my screen on, but I didn't know. So what questions do we have?
So there are a couple of questions that are coming in, and as a reminder to all of our participants, if you have questions, please, if you're joining us through Zoom, put them into the Q&A function at the bottom of the Zoom screen. If you're watching us through Facebook, please feel free to just put your questions into the comment section, and we will happily help answer your questions there. So one of the questions that came in that I think is really helpful is, a lot of our students, especially that are starting at UAB, are coming in with a heavy load of AP, IB, all of those types of credits. So do those AP credits that a student comes in with, does that get applied towards the 60-hour credit minimum that you were talking about earlier, and then the 36 credit hours from UAB? Can you kind of walk through that process a little bit more for everybody?
Absolutely. So yes, any AP or dual enrollment or transfer credit a student brings with them absolutely counts towards those 60 credit hours. Now, it will not count towards your 36. Those are 36 credit hours that need to be where you're enrolled at UAB. But the AP dual enrollment IB credit, that will count towards your 60 credit hours. I see that a lot. That's how many of our students are able to get started in an accelerated bachelor's master's program really early, because they brought so much credit with them. So yeah, that definitely counts.
There's another question that came in asking about the early acceptance program, specifically where you were speaking about the 30 on the ACT that they had to have and the 3.5 GPA, and they would automatically have gotten a letter from you based on that. So if they met those criteria and they're part of the program, when would they actually then select the program that they're interested in or that they're eligible for?
Yeah, great question. So a student, when they accept their offer of early acceptance, they are able to then indicate 3 programs of interest. And that is simply saying, these are 3 programs of this laundry list that I am interested in learning more information about. Now, when they say these 3 programs, that does not specifically mean that they're enrolling in that program today. It doesn't mean that they can't change their mind. I see that all the time. A student thinks they want to go into one field and they change their mind. So a student would be able to enroll when they are either, if it has an accelerated bachelor's master's program or fast track, once they meet those admissions requirement credit hour wise and prerequisite courses. So depending on the student and their program and what their areas of interest are, they've got a little bit of time. And again, I am right there in their corner. I'm monitoring everything. So it depends on the individual student about like the specifics of when they enroll, but they can indicate interest when they accept their offer.
Okay, perfect. And I think that the same one, next question also kind of follows along the same line. Their student is currently in as an I can never say that correctly. Immunology.
Yeah.
I think I should be able to say it today.
That's okay.
After all of the conversations we've had about these things. But specifically, how do they know then what majors or master's programs that student would be eligible for based on their specific area of major currently?
Yeah, we would have to take a look at it and see. Most students that I've worked with who are specifically immunology majors, I see them being interested in public health, master's MPH, master's public health, as well as our multidisciplinary biomedical sciences program. That is two that I see students pursuing who are immunology majors. But we could just take a look and see at their areas of interest and talking with program directors and seeing what would need to be done if they, like, say that student may want to pursue a master's in biology. Well, let's talk to Dr. Watts, Dr. Steve Watts, who is the program director, and see if there is a possibility. So it's just a matter of having a conversation, and let's just navigate that together.
So let's kind of take that a little bit further if we can.
Yeah.
So some of our students who are, I know many students will come in and they'll major in one area and they realize as they're getting towards the end of their potential undergraduate degree that maybe they want to take a slightly different turn, or as they're in the midst of the program, they realize they want to start to take a different turn, or that they're matching variations of ideas for their master's programs and their undergraduate. How can students kind of start to figure out, like, where are their requirements? What are those steps that they would need to do in order to make sure that they are hitting those tracks, to make sure that especially if maybe they are doing something unique as an undergrad that they're thinking they want to get their master's in a slightly different field that they can ultimately end up meshing them all together later on. Did we lose you, or did I confuse you with my question? It's entirely possible. Well, I think that, yep, we're going to give Melissa just a second. I think we've had there's a storm for our participants that are joining us right now. There is a storm that is going right overhead at the moment. So that's possibly what's happening with Melissa. We're going to give her a second to try to connect back on. I do want to say as we're waiting, so I know she's trying to get back on as we speak, but I have just a few things to note while we're waiting for her. One is, I know that there is, this is definitely family members that are sharing this on with other students or for other friends. This is being recorded as we speak right now onto our Facebook account, so that way if you want to share this information with your student or with another family member, just so that you've got full clarification later on, you can do that through the Parent Family Services Facebook page. We will also be placing this up on the Parent Family Services website, which is uab.edu/families. So that's a great way for you to be able to connect with all of these different resources and information that we have been sharing today. In fact, I'm going to change the background of my screen so you can see all the different websites and everything that we have. The other thing that for our family members to know is that at any point in any of this process, if you have any questions now that your student is either just starting at UAB or has been a part of UAB for a while now, you have the opportunity to reach out to us at any point in time. We never want to prevent you from contacting us. We want to make sure that you are connected and engaged with our office at any point. So please know that these are the great ways to connect with us. And then still checking in with Melissa. I know the storm just hit her area. But the other things to know is make sure that you're staying connected through the uab.campusesp.com. That is the Parent Family Services way that we are connecting and engaging with our family members regarding anything that's happening on our campus, as well as different opportunities such as connecting with our early and engaged program and things along those lines. It does look like Melissa has officially lost her Wi-Fi. I knew there was a big thunderstorm that was just rolling overhead, so I apologize. Actually, she's just coming right back online, so we're going to try to see if we can't get around for any additional questions and final statements. So thank you all for your flexibility and understanding related to the technology, because technology has, especially in the time of limited business operations where we're working from home and other shortness of things that can happen based on the all our sound and everything. Let's see if I can. There we go. I think we've got you back.
Oh, I can't hear you.
Now it's my sound.
Okay, so share my final thoughts. First off, I am so very sorry about the weather coming through. Again, early acceptance, fast track, accelerated bachelor's, master's, there's a lot of opportunities for accelerated learning at UAB. Know that if your student doesn't know where to go or has questions, please, please, please direct them to me. I am more than happy to answer any questions that they might have. If they have a question that I don't know the answer to, I can guarantee you I will get them to the correct person and will help them navigate all of the application admissions processes as well. Your student is welcome to reach out to me. My email address is melissataylor@uab.edu, with Melissa being spelled a little differently, Melissa with 2 L's and 2 S's, so melissataylor@uab.edu. Feel free, encourage them to connect with me. I want to be able to answer those questions and just reduce and relieve any anxiety that might come along with just taking those next steps and figuring out what happens. All right. Well, thank you again. We are just so grateful that you've joined us today, and we hope that you will just join us at UAB. We're excited and hope to see you on campus in the fall for a family weekend. So thanks. Have a good day and go Blazers.